Hello, my name's Jan Hogarth from Placemate Architects. I'm a residential and renovation specialist architect in Brisbane. And today I'm answering one of the most common questions that we get from people who are thinking of spending a lot of money on renovations. They know they need something, but how do they know that at the end they're going to be happy with the product? So today I'm walking through a case study to show you our process and how the owners know that, firstly, that they're getting what they want, and secondly, that the builders are going to build it the way that supports that. So let's walk through a project that's been recently finished. The key about this is the conversation that the owners and the architect has. So that what happens is that in the design process, the owner and the architect works out what the goals of the project is. Everybody needs to be off the same page, and then it's prepared to communicate clearly with the builders. So then the owners, the architects and the builders are all together, literally off the same page to create the finished product. Right, so here's the project. You can see, to start off with, it's a Queenslander. It's a pretty nice Queenslander, but it's not big enough. It hasn't got the functionality that this family is going to need for the midterm, 10, 15, 20 years. It only has a carport underneath, needed more rooms underneath. So just to give you a taster, you can see it's all been fixed up, but it's also got more car spaces underneath. It's got more rooms underneath, and you can just glimpse in this shot that there's a bit of an extension at the back, which is a master suite up the top. Like a lot of Queenslanders, it's nothing in particular underneath. It's just posts, dirt and stumps. And underneath we created new rooms that connect up to that existing pool. Now we had a briefing process with the owners so that we worked through what their needs and their wants were. And then we visited the site, so it went back to my team and we analysed the existing house. We prepped for this, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes to get to this point. So the next thing that the owners come and see is this 3D walkthrough of the model of their finished project. When I started as an architect, I would do plans and I would do sketches. This is so much more powerful. We have about an hour or so's meeting with the owners and walk them through the model like you might walk through a video game. This is just a short highlight snip that you're seeing in the background here. But the beauty of this is it helps people, regular folk who can't read a plan, that's normal people, the architects are weird here, that to see the size of the spaces, whether the furniture fits, and have a sense of what this is like as a place to be in. Often with renovations, we're taking out walls, so you can't even imagine what it might look like, because when you're standing in the room, it doesn't exist, or it just feels totally different. So that this enables a really lively communication between the architects and the owners, and they can discuss it amongst themselves and send it off to the Brains Trust for their comments as well, so that you can see the way spaces link up together, how it might look from the outside, from your neighbour's point of view, and it's much easier to detect the things that annoy you about this design, or what you can let go. So you've seen the model and you've seen how the building will look at the end. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. So people think, and they're told by people, just go and get a set of plans for your house. Right. If you're doing this kind of renovation, your house gets drawn about 5 times in 5 different ways. Now here's a sample after the concept that you get photos of the model as pictures that are just on paper. So you've got a hard copy of the model as well. Prior to that, before we start anything, before you get to the model, we've had a surveyor out there and we've measured up the existing house really accurately. All the doors, the windows, the heritage details on the house, so that everybody knows what's going on. We've done a bit of a demolition to explain to the town planners about what's going to go and what's going to stay. Before we can do the model, we have to show the drawings of where the extensions are, what are the new pieces of house, what's being demolished. You get plans as well. So this is a measured drawing. It shows exactly where the beams and the posts, what the levels are, what's already there existing. The builders really want to know that stuff. The engineers want to know it so that the costings can be accurate. When you decide to go ahead and get the drawings done, to go ahead with the building, we've already got a price, then we need to document it up accurately for the builders. So this drawing shows what posts are coming and going underneath the house, where the beams are and all that sort of stuff. We also do another separate drawing to show the different floor surfaces that might be on the slab. So here you can see that we've got all the dimensions, we've got the different floor surfaces, so all the concrete set out the right levels, and then we have a finishes plan that shows which tiles going where, what are all the fittings. Now you'll notice there's no furniture in all of this. Builders don't care about furniture. This is all about how do you build it. So these are what I'd call the working drawings. Not only do you have floor plans, which are horizontal plans, you get sections to cut through so that you can see how the stairs are put together. This is type of drawing that we'd give to a builder. So any builder can kind of understand. We've got a series of pictures of it so that all the different tradesmen who are working on that can understand how it's put together. We also do detailed drawings for construction. Here's a typical electrical plan. The electricians use that to quote, and we want the plasterers and everybody who's involved with that to know where all the lights are. Where do they sit in relationship to the plastering, the detail on the ceiling, where the tiles are, all of that stuff. That's on the plans as well. And we also do a detailed schedule of finishes so that it says, in these rooms, these are the windows, these are the type of tiles, this is the type of handle that you have on every cupboard, all of that sort of stuff. That's all documented up. So you end up with like 50 pages of drawings and lists, and all of that stuff is selected. And the reason that you do it is so that the builder and the subcontractors can price accurately, that there's as few surprises in that building process as you can humanly have. So that's how we go from that concept design that you've seen to get the level of finish that you're expecting in your house. And this was the end product. Do you remember walking through, there was a kind of blue and white kitchen in those shots? This is with the attention to detail and the gradual focusing that we've had through the whole process. The owners helped pick all these elements of the house. They've okayed all that. We've worked through that all with them. And this is how it ends up. It turns out usually much better than those initial concepts actually are. And it's because the builders are they bring their expertise into it as well. They've got a great picture to work with, a lot of information. And because the communication between the owners and the architects and the builders and everybody's on board, the builders can all bring their best game to it. So you can get this great quality of finish in the final job. And the builders, and they'll often make suggestions on site. They just go, if we did it this way, it'd really be great. And you go, yeah, great. Well, I don't know why we didn't think of that before. But now that we're looking at it, if that skylight was a bit over there or something, it could be even better. And maybe it doesn't cost any more either. It's just a slightly different way. So that by the time you've had the whole team working on it, you should be getting a really good quality finish. I mean, look at this staircase. The stair guys came in, the painters came in, the type of wood, everything just turned out great. And you might remember that window seat detail so that you work through the storage and the finishes, and the interior designers all come in. Everybody comes on board when we've got everybody communicating together through that process that starts off with the big picture that gradually focuses down into finer and finer detail through the architectural process and construction. So literally everybody is off the same page, and that's the process that we're trying to achieve so that you can get the value that you want. So that's the process from the big picture down to the last construction millimetre. that we go through so that the owners, the architects, the builders, everybody who's involved in this whole process can achieve the final result. It's a tried and true process, and if that's something that interests you, just get in touch with us. We'd love to see you.